Come on in, let's talk. We got a lot to discuss in the words of Heather Dubrow. Everybody come sit down. It's going to be so fun. And it's going to be fun because Stacey from Potomac is guilty. She's a liar pants, okay? I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. Real Housewives of Miami, I don't really have anything to say other than thank God for them. And we're going to celebrate them and give them their flowers today. Also, Kim and Croy, custody situations are becoming public. A little bit of the information's coming out, I believe, in some court details, so we're going to talk about that. And also, we're going to wish a happy weekend to every single person in the world except this interviewer who tried to cross my girl Teresa today in Chicago. So that's what we're going to discuss on this beautiful Friday. So come in, grab your cocktails. Let's have a good start to our weekend. And yeah, let me know, how was your week? Talk to me. What was the highlight? What was the pits? And let me know what you're thinking about these topics as we go along, and I'll tell you about them, and I'll come back and we'll chat about it all. All right, we're gonna kick things off with Stacey from Potomac. Y'all, Stacey is not an she's a little bit of a liar because she announced this week she is starting a cannabis company. I believe it's already fully in business, and which is honestly smart move. Like guarantee, I feel like it's like guaranteed money if you do it correctly, you know. Um, but we are eating good off of this because Miss Stacey was accused at the last Potomac reunion by Gizelle saying, yeah, you're going to start your own cannabis company, a copy of what Eddie has done. And y'all, there's a difference in denying something, and there's a difference in just like flat out being like, absolutely not, absolutely not. Stacey could not have denied it harder. And I'm like, obviously, like, there's no coincidence. I don't think that since the last reunion, she has facilitated and launched and kickstarted a full cannabis company. This obviously was something with wheels in motion when Gizelle accused her of it, right? So to deny it the way that she did, I mean, it was just full conviction. Like she was like, "What are you talking about?" Like you would have thought that you accused her name of not being Stacey. Like she was just like that. Be for real. Well, Gizelle was right, and I don't know who told Gizelle, but Gizelle, Gizelle always tells us about the word on the street. Well, word on the street is that Gizelle knows whoever is spreading the word on the street. Okay, Giselle's got the intel, and it would have been a lot easier for Stacey to just own on up to that, let everybody simmer on it while production and cameras were down after the reunion, and then come on back after they'd settled. You just created a shit storm of pot for yourself, my friend, because now everyone's had time to fester and think and prove to themselves that you weren't being honest about the weed company. And now everybody gets to come into production, guns ablazing, ready to hold you accountable. And unfortunately for you, there is actual documented proof of you being a liar face. So I love Stacey. I think she was an incredible newbie. I hate that she made this bed for herself to lay in because they're not going to let her off easy for this, you know. And also, too, there is a lesson I think to be learned, breaking the fourth wall here a little bit, about just lying like that to viewers too. It's like, so I mean, yes, I'm excited anytime a Bravo Leb launches a business venture, and especially one that deems itself to be one of quite huge success. It can be, but it's like now we kickstarted this journey with you as viewers in a place of dishonesty, you know. And I mean, maybe that doesn't matter to some. Maybe she legally couldn't speak on it at the time. I don't know. But to me, it's a very weird choice to lie about something like that. And it's also kind of insulting to the intelligence of the audience and disrespectful to viewers who give their time when you can just lie like that and think it doesn't matter. Because essentially you think you can just say what you want and we at home, it doesn't matter. It does matter. Because we're investing our time in you and your life and your journey. And when we feel like you're just playing us because we believe whatever you say and it's all a game to you, we've now lost the plot, which is connecting and resonating and seeing something on TV that is either so outside of your norm that you can't get enough of it, or has sprinkles of elements in their life that you relate to their reality. And lying straight up, especially in a setting like the reunion where it's time to come clean and just, lay it all out there, is a poor choice, Stacey, in my opinion. And I think that someone like Gizelle, who has led this show and this installment of the Housewives franchise, she's like, we ain't gonna get out here and, you know, become something that we've not, which is just like fake and fodder and coming up with storylines that are whack. And so I think that Stacey is an absolutely wonderful addition to the show, and I hope that she's able to kind of re-navigate as what her relationship could be with the audience, and that starts and is rooted in vulnerability and being truthful. You know, so let's see. Everyone's laughing at liar face. Y'all know where liar face comes from, right? Who do you think came up with liar face? Vicky. Whenever it was I believe it was the Gretchen Malibu Country era, and it was proven that, like, I don't know, something, Heather came out with some sort of proof that Gretchen hadn't been honest. And there's a scene where they're all at dinner and everybody gasps at what Heather reveals, and you hear Vicky go, "Oh, she's a liar face." Of course it come from Vicky. Vicky is a wordsmith. Like, Vicky is actually, sometimes she says things and I'm like, that was greatness and you don't even know. Like one time she's talking about how she's like, life is like a car and your tires might be a little flat and you can keep moving so long, but you're really like only hurting yourself in the long run by not stopping. If all four tires aren't fully, full, your car can't go. Or so. And I was like, okay, Shakespeare. Like, hearing the emails in the back, ding, 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 Linda on the door knocking about, and they got to talk about insurance, and Vicky's just out here writing prophecies. We love her for that. We're gonna move on. Let's talk about the Real Housewives of Miami. And Wednesdays that's the night of the week, y'all. Maybe one night I'll have to come over here and do like a YouTube live after a Miami episode or something, so we can like watch and then come chat about it. Miami Housewives is the blueprint of what this franchise should be. Not only does it have all the elements and ingredients of a juicy, successful, dramatic Real Housewives franchise, but it has just the right amount of each element. You know what I'm saying? And those elements are never repeated. Like, you need these close-knit friends to have falling outs, which is, it's hard. You look at a Vicky and Tamara. It's like you can only fall out so many times and then you don't come back from it. Miami, they come back. And their closeness allows them to have fights that only friends would have. We're going to talk about the Lisa and the Larsa fight. They was out here throwing nasty reads at each other last week in a way that only a real friend could. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm fighting with somebody I don't know, I'm going for the jugular. I'm going, but if I'm your friend and I know something on you or you know something on me, we are going to throw a read at each other that only we know why that lands the way that it lands. And I think that that's why, but also, deep down that there's love there. And I probably shouldn't have said that, and you probably shouldn't have said that, but the love is going to help us forgive each other later. You know what I'm saying? I think that Miami is the perfect blend of real, genuine friendship, real money, and honestly, real life issues. These women are fighting for their life every year. It's like, that meme of Nene running where she's like, oh, and they like put the like war scene behind her. Like, that is Alexia waking up in the morning. Alexia has not known peace since she learned the alphabet at the age of 3 or 4. What age do you teach kids alphabet? Don't ask me. And we love her for it because, there are certain people in the world, and I think I'm one of them, that like, talking about what you're going through and sharing what you're going through. That's how I got to get through it. Like, what do you think I should do? Tell me what you think. What was your experience? I got to hear from everybody, and I got to share my experience with everybody. So this is a collective journey. That is what Alexia gives us every year. A collective journey through a chaotic mess that only a rich Cuban Barbie in Miami could be experiencing. And for that, we owe her. Um, but yeah, Larsa, they were in Milan for Fashion Week with Larsa's son. And listen, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Larsa Pippen is a one of a kind housewife in that I actually think she could get away with anything. I don't know what it is, but Larsa can get away with anything because she's such a good housewife. I'm sorry, it's true. Like, let's look back at the Gertie cancer thing from last year where she shared Gertie's very, very personal health news before Gertie was able to. In every realm of the world is that unacceptable and borderline unforgivable, period. You wouldn't have known that with Larsa's line at BravoCon. Okay. Let's look at her talking to Nicole saying, get a real job. Like, you put people to sleep. You know what I'm saying? It's like an anesthesiologist is one of the highest paid accredited careers that one could have, and most certainly a little more tedious than applying our new coat of toenail polish for our next round of OnlyFans content, okay? And this is kind of like, Larsa's my girl. But, I mean, you know, even politically, publicly talking about things that housewives, I think, you know, veer away from. And then the way that she talks to women on the show, like when she's fighting with them, like Marisol even said, like, she's a dirty fighter. Like, that's how she is. And Lisa's talking about how she's recently reconnected with her father, who is unfortunately very ill and possibly, you know, could be passing away. And Larsa says, if your dad's a week from dying, why are you in Milan? Girl! Do I see what you were saying in your point? Yes. Was it your place to say that? And could the delivery have been more brutal? No. Words matter. You know, and as Lynn Curtin said in the season 4, season 5 reunion, I can't remember which one it was, words hurt. And so you got to watch your words, okay? And Larsa, don't be caring about her words when she's upset. You know, and listen, I'm a Cancer. I'm the same way. Is Larsa a Cancer? Larsa birthday. I knew it! We're 3 days apart! Oh my God. We're the same. Cause like, I have been, when we get upset and sensitive, and like Dorinda Medley once said, I get sensitive, I do. No wonder I relate to Larsa. I'm like, girl, I get because I'm the same way. I be trying to like express how I feel sometimes, and I think it's vulnerable, and it ain't, apparently. So, no, oh my God, Larsa and I are kind of twins. Oh my God. Okay, sorry that y'all just had to go on that self-discovery journey for me. But it's just, and back to why Miami is so good and why we don't deserve them. I have been sitting here talking about Larsa and like analyzing the psychology of like what she does for 10 minutes. That's one of 87 storylines going on in the first 2 episodes of this show. I don't know how production keeps up. There cannot be enough whiteboards or conference rooms in the world to map out and storyboard each season of this show. It's impossible. And I guarantee you there's probably 10 other storylines that they had to cut for time. It's just, we've got Julia has adopted 2 kids. Her and Gertie are falling out. We've got Lisa and Larsa falling out. Like, we've got Marisol really kind of coming clean about how she feels about Todd. Alexia and Todd are falling apart. We've still got a new housewife that's going to be coming in a couple of weeks. Like, boom, 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 boom. Fire, 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 fire. Give me more, give me more, give me all of it. If you're not watching Miami, nobody's not watching Miami. So it's just, I just had to come here and celebrate them today. Like, literally, as I was watching it, I was in like a group chat with some friends, and like I had 1 or 2 other friends separately also text me like, people were like, God, it's just so good. Like, it's just the right amount of funny, drama, shock. I don't know. You really, really got to give it to the cast and production. So, and we are just getting started. So keep it coming. You've never watched Carol? Carol, sidebar. I'm gonna give you my Peacock login. And if I don't see all 7 seasons caught up by the end of the weekend, we're gonna have to have a little touch base on Monday. Okay. Gene, I'm a Cancer too. Lindsay, I'm a Cancer too. Ooh, we can cry together. Our feelings can be. You look at me the wrong way, I'm hurt. But at least I know it and I own it. You know what I'm saying? Dominique, hi Christian. Hi Dominique. Where are you watching from? Is this our first time chatting? Mel NYC, TGI Chris from your brother in NYC. Yes, have a good, cool weekend. Happy weekend to you, boo. Carol, how do you like the new apartment? Carol, let's see, TGI Chris. Yes. Oh, have a good, cool weekend. How do I like the new apartment? I like it. I don't like that I sold my couch with the hopes that my new couch was gonna come right after, and then the couch order ended up being canceled. So why do y'all think y'all got a blurred background? Because it's a mess. It is a mess. But the energy up here is just so much different. I know that sounds absolutely silly because it's the same building. Like I can literally see my old apartment from here. But it's just like higher up. I have a better view. The natural light every day is so much better, which just, I don't know. So I like it a lot more. It's quieter. I was near the loudest neighbors down there. So I do like it. Thank you for asking. Let's talk about, what are your thoughts on Julia? Hold on, I want to answer this really quick. Gene, what are your thoughts on Julia? I think that Julia got caught up in the housewivesery. And I think she's having fun and kind of back to Stacey, thinking that we didn't hire y'all to play producer. And this is exactly why. Because whatever is going on between her and Gertie, in my full honest opinion, was something that a housewife who's finally got her feet wet saw a low hanging opportunity and grabbed it. And we are now seeing the fallout of that, because it seems like she kind of went all in on it and used this to kind of as a means of conversation as to why her and Gertie are no longer close. It just feels very kind of contrived, manipulative, if I'm being honest. And I think overall, most importantly, unfortunately, it feels not real. And that she's willing to take down or, feud with someone to make that happen. So if I had to guess, I think this probably be Julia's last season, personally, but we'll see. Let's move on. We're going to wrap up with talking about what you shouldn't talk about. And that's just, listen, Teresa and I are doing a couple events next weekend, and one of them is in Chicago. She was on a local news station today, promoting it, trying to promote it. And look, we all like gossip and answers and tea, of course. We also should then look to common sense, and that if we are actually looking to get an answer on some sort of maybe personal or juicy or gossipy subject, we should lead with respect and decency. And that's not what happened, because this news anchor at some station in Chicago, I'm guessing it's a big station, literally just went for Tree and was like, so what kind of family or something like that doesn't pay their taxes? And it's like, we're here to talk about a day party. Like, what in the world? Where did that come from? And just saying all that to say, it's nice to see that people online, look, you can say what you want about Teresa. Obviously, I'm a loyal ass tree hugger. Like, I will have the branches run deep, baby. The roots are deep. I only worked in news for like a little over a year. I've worked in TV and entertainment some. What he was trying to do was pathetic, and it almost would have made more sense if this was like some sort of like red carpet interview type of thing. Like, this is someone who gives to me, respected reporter. Like, you're delivering sometimes very hard topics to people at 4 o'clock in the morning. You're the face that kindergartners see and remember on TV when they're all the years of growing up when they're getting ready in the morning for school and stuff. Why are you listening to the producer in the back prompting you to ask some question that you clearly don't know anything about to get, because it just did it looked unprofessional to me. And just saying all that to say, and wrapping up to say, I hope everybody in the world has a fantastic weekend except that man. I really do. So, um, like, and again, I get it. Like, I get, if someone's coming on mine and Vicky's podcast, I'm like, well, we got to talk about certain things. Like, we've got to talk about what topics are surrounding this person. If you genuinely cared about getting a truthful answer, you would lead with true intentions, and he did not. And that's exactly why he got the response that he did. Yeah, and I see some people say Teresa shouldn't have hung up. In that moment, if he's willing to do that on live TV, in an environment where you either walk or you sit there and stay with it. If he's willing to do that and be, what else is he going to do? I think removing herself from it was kind of the best decision, That's just kind of how I feel. And I feel bad with her, but for her. And I honestly feel that it could have just all gone much differently without, I don't know. My son's 15, never watches local TV, just YouTube and streaming. Totally different day and age. I'm talking about, like, whenever I was young, my parents just always had it on. Like, it's not that I watched it, but it was on. Like, the news was on in the mornings, like while I was having breakfast before school or while I'm taking the dog out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew who our local anchors were because it was the same people for 30 years. Like, it's a very legacy type of career at times. And you're out here trying to fight with a lady on TV who was there for 3 minutes to promote a local event, you know? So yes, happy weekend to everyone but him. All right, well, I am going to send y'all into the weekend, and I hope that it is one of whooping it up, overflowing love tanks, and no family vans, and no reporters named Larry or whatever his name was trying to catch you up in a little bit of a moment. That's what we hope, okay? Thank y'all so much for being here with me this week. Thank you for your patience as far as my apartment and surroundings are all over the place, but the one constant is that I get to come and hang out with y'all 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, every day. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday between 3 and 4 p.m. here on Hurrdat. And yeah, we'll do it all again next week. And can't wait to see what fun topics are brought our way. Love y'all. Besos. See you next week.